Hello students, welcome to Unix Programming Module 2 Session 3. So here in Session 3 you are going to learn the shell's interpretive cycle. So on that you are going to learn the shell, what is that shell, how that shell is going to work in Unix system. Next you are going to learn different wild cards available in Unix programming, and you are going to learn 3 standard files and redirection. So now let us discuss about the shell. So here in this diagram, this is the Unix architecture. So here the shell is the interface between the user and the kernel. So if you want to interact with the kernel and the hardware, so you need to use the shell. So without that you can't interact kernel and you cannot access the system resource. Okay, so now shell is the interface between the user and kernel. It acts as the command line interpreter. So here in a Unix system, so the shell is the command line interpreter, so we can execute different commands using a command line. So if you want to communicate with the kernel and if you want to access the system hardware, then you need to use the shell. And then so when you enter any command, the shell interprets the commands and then executes the command and gives the result. So here in Unix system there are different shells are available. So you can use shell commands to write simple programs to automate many tasks. Okay, so here in a Unix system there are so many commands are available. So you can use those commands to write a simple programs or script. Okay, so now here in our Unix system there are 5 different shells are available. The first one is a Bourne shell, that is /bin/sh, that is developed by Steve Bourne on AT&T Unix system. Second, Bourne again shell, that is /bin/bash, okay, that is the improved version of the Bourne shell, okay, and they developed on Linux operating system. Third one, C shell, that is /bin/csh, developed by Bill Joy on BSD Unix, that is Berkeley Software Distribution Unix platform. Fourth one, TC shell, that is /bin/tcsh, that is developed on Linux platform. Last one, Korn shell, /bin/ksh, that is developed by David Korn on AT&T Unix platform. Okay, so here these are the different shells are available in Unix system. Okay, so now let us discuss about the shell's interpretive cycle, how exactly the shell is going to execute a command and gives the result back to the user. Okay, now let us discuss about different steps here. The first step, shell issues the prompt and waits for you to enter a command. Okay, so when you log in into the system and once you open the terminal, okay, so you will get a prompt and then you need to enter a command. So after a command is issued, the shell scans the command line for meta characters. So once the user entered a command, the shell reads the command and then it checks for the different meta characters of the command. Third step, it then passes on the command line to the kernel for execution. So once the shell checks whether the command is valid, whether it is used properly, then the shell handovers that command to the kernel for the execution, and then kernel executes the command and gives the result back to the shell. Okay, and shell gives the result to the user. So until then the shell will be in waiting. So the shell waits for the command to complete. Okay, so normally shell cannot do any work while the command is running. Fifth step, so after the command execution, the prompt reappears and the shell returns to its waiting role to start the next cycle. Okay, so once the user got the result from the kernel, okay, again the prompt will be reappears, and then the shell returns to its waiting role and starts for the next cycle. Okay, so now these are the different steps for the shell's interpretive cycle. How exactly the shell is going to execute a command and gives the result back to the user. Okay, so once you log in, you will get a prompt. Okay, so user will enter a command. Okay, that command is received by the shell. So the shell hand over the command to the kernel. Okay, and then kernel executes that. So if it is valid, so it executes and give the result to the user. Okay, so if the command is not valid, then the shell will display error. Okay, so after that, so logout command, and then you log out the terminal. So this is the shell's interpretive cycle. Okay, so now let us discuss about pattern matching, different wild cards available here in Unix system. So while writing a different shell script and while executing different commands, okay, to match a pattern, so here you need to use the different wild cards. So what is a pattern? A pattern is framed using ordinary characters and meta characters. Okay, so using well defined rule. Okay, now pattern is framed using that ordinary characters like a star, question mark. Okay, and they are framed by using well defined rules. The pattern can be used as an argument to the command and the shell. Okay, so here in the Unix system, so if you want to match a different pattern, okay, so you need to use that pattern as an argument to the command or to the shell. Okay, so here one wildcard, that is a star, that star symbol for any number of characters in any file name. So if you use the star along with the command, then it so matches that any number of characters. For example here, so if you use that star along with the command lpr, so that command gives that all the files starting with the file name lpr. Second example, so if you use that star, so with other characters to search the pattern. Okay, one example here, ls a star dot txt. So this command lists all the file that starts with a and end with the dot txt. The next wildcard character is question mark, so which stands for any single character. So if you use that question mark wildcard, that is for the single character. One example here, cp draft question mark dot doc. So which copy draft 1 dot doc, draft 2 and draft b. Okay, so here, so see the difference here. So it consider the single character draft 1 single character and 2, and then so here the b, so it takes that a single character. Question mark means that is for the single character. Okay, so now here in a Unix system there are different shells wild cards are available. Now let us discuss about these wild cards. The first one is a star, that is for any number of characters including none. Question mark, a single character. Third one, so in the square bracket ijk, a single character, either an I, j or k. So if you use this wildcard along with the command, so it consider only a single character, so which are there within the square bracket, like it consider only I or j or k. Next one, inside a square bracket x to z, a single character that is within the ASCII range of characters x and z. So if you use this wildcard along with any command, okay, so it checks the pattern, so which are inside this square bracket, that is x to z. Okay, so it checks only x, y and z. So next one, so inside a square bracket not ijk, that is a single character that is not an I, j or k. Okay, so if you use this wildcard along with the command, then it doesn't consider these three characters. Okay, so here you are using a not. Okay, it doesn't consider I, j and k while matching a pattern. Next one, not x to z, a single character that is not within the ASCII range of characters x and z. Okay, so here if you use this wildcard along with the command, it doesn't match these characters, that is not x, not y and not z. Last one, so inside of flower brackets part 1, part 2 and so on. Okay, is consider only that particular word. Okay, search is only that particular word, part 1, part 2 and so on. Okay, so now here these are the different wildcards available in a Unix system. So you can use these wildcard to match the pattern, to search the pattern. Next is a character class. You can frame more pattern with the character class. So using this character class, so you can frame more than one pattern. The character class comprises a set of characters enclosed by the rectangular brackets, but it matches a single character in the class. Okay, so the character class will be enclosed by the rectangular brackets. An example here, the pattern, so A, B, D, that is a one character class. So it matches a single character A, B or D. Okay, now here the characters within the rectangular brackets, that is called as a one class. Okay, so it matches only a single character within that, that is A or B or D. An example here. Okay, so ls command with the file name chapter 0. So inside a rectangular brackets 1 to 4. So it matches only the chapter 01, chapter 02, chapter 04. Okay, so the file name starts from chapter 0. So it matches these characters. So within the rectangular brackets like 1 to 4, 01, 02 and 04. Okay, now these 1 to 4 inside a rectangular brackets is called as a character class. Second one, ls chapter x to z. Okay, so here the character class is so within the ASCII range x to z. So it matches the file name chapter x, chapter y and chapter z, because that is within the ASCII range x to z. So it consider x, y and z. So here in this character class, so you can use that negate character to reverse the matching criteria. One example here, the example ls star dot inside a rectangular brackets not co. So it matches all the file names with a single character, but not .c or .o file. So okay, so except C and O, so it matches all the file name. Okay, so now inside a rectangular brackets not CO, that is so another character class, it doesn't match C and O. Second one, ls not A to Z, small a to z and capital A to Z star, that is used to match all the file name that doesn't begin with an alphabetic character. Okay, so it lists all the file name so which doesn't begin with the alphabetic character, because you are using here not with the small letters A to Z not with the capital letters A to Z. Okay, so to summarize till now, so the command ls star dot c lists all the files with the extension dot c. Move star dot dot slash bin moves all the file to bin directory of a parent directory. Third command, cp file star copies all the content of the file to file star. Okay, so here in this example star doesn't have any meaning. Next command, cp, so file question mark and the directory programs, copies to programs directory all files with the 5 character names. Okay, so the file name which contain 5 characters are copied to the directory programs. That is the meaning. Next one, rm star dot not l not o not g, so which removes all the files with the 3 character extensions except the one with the dot log extension. Okay, so which removes all the files with the 3 characters extension. Okay, so if the file contain only the 3 characters, all the files are removed except the one with the dot log extension, because we are using here not l not o not g, so which indicates that is a not dot log. Next command, ls data the range 0 to 1 and next class the range 0 to 9. So list the files like data 00, data 01 and data 19. So here in this, so it takes one character from first class and again one character from the second class. Okay, like data 0 and 0, data 01 and data 02, okay, and data 19. The next one, cp hyphen r slash home slash srm slash inside of flower brackets c java, so which copies recursively the 2 directories, that is C and Java, from home slash srm to the current directory. Okay, so here you are using a dot, so which indicates that you are copying a C and Java from this directory, home srm directory to the current directory. Okay, so now let us discuss about the redirection. Different 3 standard files available in any Unix system. Based on these files you are going to read, write, and you are going to get the different file errors or command errors. So here in Unix system, while executing a command, okay, so you need to give the input and you will get the output. So if the command is not valid, then you will get the error message on the terminal. So here the shell associates with the 3 files, so with the terminal. So here 2 for display and 1 for the keyboard. Okay, so here in Unix system there are 3 files available with the terminal, okay, with respect to the terminal. So 2 for the display and 1 for the keyboard. So all these files are the streams of characters, because so it takes the input as a characters and then output as a characters and error as a character. So here in this Unix system there are 3 different standard streams are available. The first one, the standard input, that is a file stream representing input connected to the keyboard. Okay, so you, as a user, if you want to give the input, so you need to use the keyboard, that is the standard input. Second one, standard output, that is the file stream of characters representing the output connected to the display or the terminal. So, if you want to get the output, you are getting the output on the terminal. Third one, standard error, that is the file stream of characters representing error messages, so connected to the display. So, once the command is executed, so if command is failed in executing or command is a valid or invalid, then based on that you will get a error message displayed on the terminal. Okay. So, now here these three are the different standard files available with respect to the terminal. One is for input, output, and one is for the standard error. So, again here in Unix system there are three special files are available. So, each of these three special files are represented by a number called a file descriptor. A file is opened by using its path name, but subsequent read and write operation identify the file by this file descriptor. So, once the file is opened, so there will be one index that is called as a file descriptor. Okay, that will be pointing to the file. So, that file descriptor is used for reading and writing the file. Okay, so you need to use this index, that is a file descriptor, to read and write. So, the kernel maintains a table of the file descriptors. Okay, so here in Unix kernel it maintain a table, file table. Okay, the file table is which contain a different file descriptors for different file. Okay, the first three slots are allocated to the three standard streams. Okay, so in the file table so contain different file descriptors. The first three slots are for the three standard streams. So 0 is for standard input, 1 is for standard output, and 2 is for standard error. Okay, so now these three are the first three slots within the file table. Okay, see the diagram here. 0, that is for the standard input, that is the keyboard. So 1 is for the standard output connected to the display, and the file 2 is for the standard error connected to the display. Okay, so now let us discuss about the standard input in detail with an example. So, when a command is used without the arguments, it reads the file representing the standard input. So, it can represent different three input sources. The first one is the keyboard, that is the default source. So, using a keyboard the user can give the input one example here, that is a WC command without any argument to print the word count. So, this input you are giving using the standard input, that is a keyboard. Second source is a file using redirection with a less than symbol. An example here. So, the command WC will get the input from the file using that less than symbol. Okay. The sample.txt contains some data. That data is given as a input to the command word count. Okay. So, using the redirection symbol, that is less than. Okay. So, this is the second source, that is a file. Third one, another program using a pipeline. So, here you can use a pipeline as an input, okay, to another command. For example, here the first ls command lists all the file, okay, that is the output of the ls command. okay, gives to the another command, that is a word count. Okay, so now the output of ls is a input to the word count. Okay, so using the pipeline, okay, the output of ls command is the input to the wc command. Okay, so now here there are three different source for the standard input. One is that is keyboard, another one is the redirection with the less than symbol, third one is pipeline. Standard output. All the commands displaying output on the terminal, so actually write to the standard output file as a stream of character. Okay, so all the command display the output on the terminal as a stream of characters. So there are three possible destinations of the stream. The first one is the terminal, that is the default destination. An example here, word count and the file name sample.txt, so which display the content from the file sample.txt on the terminal. Second, a file using the redirection symbol greater than and to greater than symbol. So using the redirection symbols, so you can get the output. Let us see the example here. The word count command, the file name sample.txt greater than the output. So here the word count of the file name sample.txt, the output is given to the another file, that is the output. So using the greater than symbol, all the content of the sample.txt is copied to the output file. Okay, so now output file is the, so which contain the all the data of the sample.txt file. Second one, cat file1.c greater than output.txt, all the content of file1.c is given to the output.txt file. Third one, as input to the another program using a pipeline. Okay, so here using a pipeline, one command gives the output to the another command. So here in this example, who, so which displays that all the users of the system and gives the output to the another command using a pipeline, that is word count, that is -l, so which list all the word count of the users. Okay, so now here these three are the different destinations of the standard output stream. Next is the standard error. So if the command is invalid, so once the command failed in executing, the user gets the error message on the terminal. So when you enter an incorrect command or try to open non-existent file, okay, so you will get a error messages on the screen. This is called as a standard error stream. For example here, so you are executing a cat command, okay, you are trying to open a file, so which is not present in the Unix file system, then you will get an error message on the terminal. So you can redirect this stream to a file, but the standard error cannot be redirected in the same way as a standard output can be. So along with the greater than symbol. Okay, how that standard output redirects the result, so using that greater than symbol, so here in a standard error is not possible. So if you want to redirect a data to a file, so here in a standard error you need to use the symbol to greater than. So using this to greater than symbol, so you can redirect to any file. Okay, so here the character 2 indicates that is a standard error. Let us see the examples. So here the command cat the file 1. Okay, so now you are trying, so in this command you are trying to execute the or open the file 1. Okay, so now you got the error message, cat cannot open the file 1 because the file 1 is not located in the file system. That's what you got an error. Second command, cat the file name file 1, so greater than symbol and the file name, that is error file. So here you are trying to copy the content of file 1 to the file error file. Okay, then you will get an error message, that is cat cannot open file 1 because that file 1 doesn't present in the file system. Third one, the command cat with the file name, that is file 1, to greater than symbol and the another file name error file. So here in this case, using the symbol to greater than in third example, so using a symbol to greater than, so you are redirecting from file 1 to error file, and then after that you are executing the command cat error file, then you will get a one error message, cannot open the file 1 because that file 1 is not present in a Unix system or in a Unix file system. Okay, so now here these are the different error messages you will get while executing a command. Just about the shell. Okay, so now let us see in which shell you are working. Okay, so for that, so you need to execute the command ps to check the shell. So here I am using a bash shell. Okay, so this is one of the type in a different types of shells. Okay, so what you learned, so here in this Ubuntu operating system, bash shell is present. Okay, so now you learned the shell's interpretive cycle, how exactly the shell is going to execute a command. Okay, so let us summarize that once again here. So once you log in to the Unix system, and once you open that terminal, the shell, so issue the prompt. Okay, the command prompt. Okay, so it's waiting to read the command. So now user entered a command. So for example here says user, I entered a command calendar. Okay, so now the shell is going to scan the command calendar. It checks whether it is a valid or not. So if it is a valid, this command is handed over to the kernel, and the kernel will execute the command and gives the result back to the user. Okay, so I got the result from the kernel. So if the command is not valid, so shell gives an error message. So for that I will execute one command. So calendar with the year 1 2 3 4 5 6, I will run the command. So here I got the error message saying that calendar year 1 2 3 4 5 6 is not in the range. So it means that the command is not valid. So the shell throws a error message. Okay, so this is about a shell interpretive cycle. So once the command is executed, so again the shell issues the prompt, okay, to read another command to start the next cycle. Okay, so this is the interpretive cycle of the shell. So you learned different wildcards for pattern matching. Okay, so if you want to search a different pattern, okay, it's using a command line, or so in a program if you are using a wildcards to search the pattern. Okay, so now let us demonstrate about different wildcards. So first one is the star. Okay, so star is one of the wildcard available in the Unix system. Okay, so here, so if I want to search all the files available in the file system, so for that I will use a command ls, and the file name starts with the chap, and then I'll give a star. So here I want to list all the file names which starts with the chap from the file system. Okay, so now I got all the files, so it starts with the character chap. Okay, now that is the use of a wildcard star. So next command ls chap question mark. So here I am using a wildcard question mark. So it means that, so it matches the pattern starting with the file chap, and it consider one character, so that question mark. Okay, question mark means it consider one character at a time. Okay, I will run the command. Okay, so here I got the all the file which starts with the chap and then one character. Okay, because so here I am using a wildcard question mark, so it consider one character. So next, if you want to consider two more characters along with the file name chap, then for that you need to use a chap and two question mark. So now it consider two more question marks along with the these characters chap. See, chap and two more characters 01, 02, 03 and 04, because of these two question mark. Okay, so next command, so ls chap0, the character class which contain the characters 1 to 4 within the rectangular bracket. Okay, so now here I'm going to search the pattern which starts with the characters chap0. Okay, and then it consider one character from the character class at a time. Okay, like a chap01, chap02, chap04. Okay, so if the files are available in the file system, then this command is going to list all the files. Let us see the output. Okay, so now here I got that three files here, starts with the chap0. Okay, so next one character is from the character class chap01, 02 and 4. Okay, now this is the use of the character class, so you can use more than one character within the rectangular brackets. So it considers only one character at a time from the character class. Okay, so now next example, ls chap. So here I will take a range from x to z. Okay, so here in this example I want to search the pattern which starts with the chap. Okay, and then the range here I have given x to z, so it consider the range between x to z. So it means it consider x, y and z, because you given the range here. Okay, so this is going to match chap x, chap y and chap z. Okay, see the result here, chap x from the character class in the range x to z, chap y and chap z. Okay, so next is ls 3 question mark. So here, so it's going to list all the files, so which contain 3 characters. Okay, A9Z, CH2, CEC, CSE, so CSE and SCC and SUD. So first all the characters begin with the 3 characters. So next is, so if you want to search the pattern, so which start with the file name A but end with the character T. Okay, for example, ls, the file name starts with A and end with the character T. Okay, you have to list all the files which starts with the A, end with the T. So for that you need to use A star T. Okay, so now it will list all the files here starting from A, end with the T. Okay, so you got the file which starts with the character A and end with the character T. Okay, so next command, ls, the character class not abc and extension txt. So here, so using this command you are going to search the file with the extension .txt, but the file should not start with the abc, because here you are given a not abc. The file should not start with the characters abc. So you got d.txt and e.txt. Okay, so it lists all the file apart from a.txt, b.txt and c.txt. Okay, so you need to use here the not along with the characters. It should not consider these characters. So next is, the file name starts with the abc and end with the et. Okay, so here I am using a 2 character class. One is the abc, another one is the et. Okay, so it takes 1 character from the first character class abc and 1 character from et. Okay, a e. Okay, like this, a t. Okay, one from the first character class and second character is from the second class. Okay, see, a b c t and c a t t. So here you learned different standard files like a standard output, standard input and standard error. Okay, for the standard output, so there are 3 default destinations are available. The first one is a terminal, second one is a file using the redirection symbol greater than and 2 greater than symbol, and the third one is input to the other program using a pipeline. Okay, so for the standard output there are 3 possible destinations. The first one is the terminal. So if you want to print a message, okay, the message is going to print on the terminal. Okay, so now terminal is the destination, okay, to print a output. Okay, so for that we consider an example, wc word count. So for example, wc so greater than symbol and the file name s1.txt. Okay, so an example WC. First example, the default destination, that is a terminal. So for that I'll use the command cat and the file name. So here, so I'm trying to print the content from s1.txt on the terminal. So welcome to CEC. Okay, so now it displayed on the terminal. The terminal is a default destination to print the message. The second one is a file using a redirection symbol. For that, the example WC, the file name s1.txt, I will use a redirection symbol greater than and the file name s.txt. So here in this example, I am trying to redirect the content from s1.txt to s.txt using a greater than symbol. Okay, so now content is redirected to s.txt file or copied to s.txt file. Okay, now print the content of the file s.txt. Okay, see, we got the content. So here in this, the WC, okay, so executes to check the number of lines and number of words and number of characters present in the s1.txt. Okay, and then that result is stored in the s.txt. Okay, and then you have printed that result. Okay, so now you got the result from the file s.txt. Okay, so if you want, you can open the file. So gedit s.txt. Okay, so now the result is redirected to another file using a redirection symbol greater than. Okay, so here in a standard output there is one more redirection symbol is there, that is a 2 greater than symbol. Okay, so let us see the difference here. Okay, so here there are two redirection symbol like a greater than, and 2 greater than symbol. Okay, now what is the difference between these two? So if you use only one greater than symbol, okay, so this overwrites the content in the file. Okay, so if you use 2 greater than symbol, so it appends the content at the end of the file. Okay, let us demonstrate. So cat greater than symbol and the file name new.txt. Okay, I will write a statement here. Hello, welcome to CEC. Okay, I will print a content from the file new.txt. Okay, so here you got the content hello welcome. Okay, so now again I am trying to add so 2 more lines into the same file using a single redirection symbol new.txt. So new line. Okay, so now print the content from the file new.txt. Okay, so now here the file contain only the statement new line. Okay, what about this hello welcome? Because the single greater than symbol or redirection symbol is overwrites the content. Okay, so in the file, so the previous data is removed from the file. Okay, now let us demonstrate about so 2 greater than symbol. Okay, I'll consider same file new.txt. Okay, so one more line. and then I will print the content. So cat new.txt. Okay, see, one line is appended at the end of the file. Okay, so it's the same file new.txt. So using a two greater than symbol, so it's going to append the content into the file, and a single redirection symbol for the standard output, so it overwrites the content into the file. Okay, so the third one is a pipe. Okay, so here, so who, I'll use the pipeline, and then ls-l. Okay, so if you're using a pipeline, okay, so the first, so this command is going to execute, which lists all the users present in the Unix system. Okay, and then the ls-l will list all the users. Okay, the output of first command is given as an input to the ls-l, so it lists all the users. Okay, so now here, so this pipe is used as a both standard input and standard output. So here you got that all the users who logged into the system. Okay, so next is the standard input. So for the standard input, the first source is the terminal. Okay, the first source is, that is a keyboard. So using a keyboard, the user can view the input. Okay, so now for that, I'll use the command wc to count the word, line and the character. Okay, so now here I'm giving a input from the keyboard. Hello, welcome to CEC. Okay, I've given the input from the keyboard, that is the standard input. Okay, so now keyboard is the default source for the standard input. So another one is a file using a redirection symbol, wc less than symbol and the file name s1.txt. Okay, so now here from the file you are redirecting to the command wc. Okay, so using a less than symbol. Okay, so this is the redirection symbol. So here you got the output. The third standard file is the standard error. Okay, so if the command is if the command is not a valid, okay, then shell gives an error message on the terminal, displays the error message on the terminal. Okay, for example here, so calendar with the year 1 2 3 4 5 6. So here you got the error message from the shell saying that the calendar year 1 2 3 4 5 6 is not in the range. Okay, because so the calendar year is not in a valid range. Okay, so one more, so cat the file name foo. Okay, so foo no such a file or directory. Okay, now this is the error message you got. Okay, so here in a standard error, so it's not possible to redirect using a greater than symbol to another file. Okay, so like a cat and the file name foo, so greater than a file name error file. Okay, so here, so in this command you are trying to redirect the message from a file foo to the under file error file. Okay, now let us run the command. Okay, so here you are not redirected the error message to a under file, so using a greater than symbol. Okay, so this is not possible in the standard error. Okay, so this can be used only for the standard output. Okay, so here in the standard error, to redirect, so we have to use the symbol cat foo 2 greater than symbol and the error file. So here you need to use that 2 greater than symbol for the redirection in a standard error. Okay, so now the error message is redirected to the file error file. Let us run the command. Okay, so now the error message is copied or stored in the file error file. Now print the error message cat error file. Okay, so you got the error message here. Okay, so if you want, you can open the file gedit error file. Okay, see the error message is copied here because it is redirected from a file. Okay, so using the 2 greater than symbol. Okay, so while using a 2 greater than symbol, okay, so you should not give the space between these two character 2 greater than. Okay, so this is not a valid symbol. There should not be a space between these two characters for the redirection symbol of the standard error. Okay, so now here these are the standard files available in the Unix system, like a standard output, standard input and the standard error. To summarize session 3, so here you learnt how the command is going to execute by the shell in interpretive cycle, and you learnt different types of shells available in any Unix system, like a bash, born again shell, born shell, corn shell, C shell and TC shell, and you learnt different shells wildcards to match the pattern, like a star for more than one, question mark only for single character, and character class using a rectangular bracket. And finally you learnt 3 different standard files available, like a standard input, standard output and standard error. Thank you.